Well, hello, and welcome to an Arknights Operator's Mediocre Guide featuring the cat waifuing, 2-in-1 package, dual personnel. Wait, we're not doing Nightmare? Oh. Okay. Kazemaru is a Dollkeeper specialist. The dull half of it has a special thing that happens when knocked down to 0 HP. Normally an operator would disappear to pick up some milk and take decades to come back, but with this subclass, will instead be replaced by a substitute, well at least if the tile is still deployable. The substitute has its own attack range and 0 block by default, so no blocking will be happening while it's up. After 20 seconds, the substitute turns back into the operator with full health, almost like a revive. Though if the substitute goes down, that's when the journey for milk begins, properly retreating from the field. As for the keeper half of Kazemaru's Dollkeeper, they block 2 enemies, have a lowish DP cost, and pretty average stats across the board. But despite that, I'd still keep her regardless. The feline's talent is simple. Whenever the substitute is summoned, it will drop a chunk of arts damage in a 3x3 square. It does give you a reason to try and drop the substitute if you really need it, but personally I would not go out of my way to drop Kazemaru's health to 0, just cause that's a lot of work for only a tiny bit of extra damage. You can also treat it as a nice bonus burst of damage in the effort of finishing off enemies or chipping away at the ones that caused the substitute summon to begin with. The versatility is there for you to play around with. Kazemaru's first skill boosts up the next attack, hitting for up to 350% of attacker's damage, and damaging herself for 10% of her maximum health, meaning that the Intel Cat can indeed take herself to 0. We've got a glorified generic skill 1 today, Power Strike Edition, but hey, a 2 SP on attack charging skill is not bad. That being said, without healing, the operator will drop to 0 HP more often, which could be a good or bad thing depending on your strategy, especially if it involves blocking anything. Since substitutes can't charge and activate skills or block enemies, you may find this skill awkward to use unless you want Kazemaru to hit 0 health more often. I'll be honest, this is the only skill 1 clip I have. You're likely gonna find more value using skill 2, which raises attack by up to 120% and instantly cutting Kazemaru's current HP by half upon activation. In addition, a substitute will drop within the 8 surrounding tiles to assist in battle, lasting for the skill duration of 20 seconds or when taken to 0 HP. Again, you need a valid ground tile for the substitute to show up, but you can still activate it. Normal priority mechanics still apply, meaning that the substitute will normally drop on enemies closest to the blue box. And yes, summoning the substitute will trigger the talent, dealing arts damage when you decide to hit the skill button. On top of that, it does not require Kazemaru to hit 0 health for the substitute to show up. Both herself and the clone will be on the field hitting whatever approaches. However, if the original Kazemaru goes down, this skilled up substitute will also go away. Also, it's only a 20 SP skill. Activate away as the skill will likely be recharged by the time you think about firing it off again. The significantly higher attack also allows Kazemaru and her substitute to chip away at higher defense enemies more effectively. If you've got the module, the substitute has more attack. This only applies to the one that is summoned after Kazemaru herself goes down, as it doesn't apply to the skill 2 body that gets summoned for whatever reason. At least I was comparing with and without the module. The skill 2 summons have the same stats, so some sort of black magic might be going on there. Or maybe I just can't tell the difference between the real Kazemaru and her clone. Further upgrades will improve the talent's damage. It's up to you if you want to go all in, as the talent's damage improvement is a bit on the minor side. So how are we going to use this origami substituting cat? Let's take advantage of that low DP cost. Kazemaru is on the cheaper side, so she can be used as an early deploy option. The other selling point of this tactic lies in the Dollkeeper specialist itself. Because hitting 0 health doesn't actually take Kazemaru down, you don't need to commit to a medic operator right away, leaving yourself with spare DP for other options, such as someone to help with damage, or just another vanguard for DP generation, and then dropping that medic when you need them. Alternatively, you could just leave Kazemaru on her own to do stuff, since depending on the position, a medic on her is not the most vital thing needed. Naturally, this means that Kazemaru is great in an early game integrated strategies if you're as unlucky as I am in not getting any medics. Later in your run, as you build up your squad, she still contributes in adding damage options to the pile. Of course, the Dollkeeper's offensive capabilities apply outside integrated strategies. The substitute summoned by skill 2 is subject to the usual targeting priority that most ranged enemies have, gunning for the most recently deployed operator in range. The substitute, like many other summons, counts as a recently deployed operator, so it can serve as a decoy body should you need one. Though unlike many summons, the substitute can be healed by your medics. Also, though rare, a super slow melee attacking enemy can hit the substitute if they lock on before it appears, so just a quick PSA. As per usual, here are Kazemaru's stats, potentials, trust bonuses, base skills, and my E264M3 Kato, reminding me to cope for an alternate nightmare form yet again. And that was the Kazemaru guide. Though not the premier damage source, opens up more early options via the classic 2-for-1 waifu deal.